We want to simplify this complex fraction. And one of the ways you can do that is by clearing the denominators of all of these mini fractions inside of it by multiplying by the least common denominator of them. So if we look at all four of them, we have x cubed y, xy, xy to the fourth, and x cubed y. The least common denominator is always going to be the highest power of x that appears with the highest power of y that appears in this case. So our LCD is going to be x cubed y to the fourth. And in order to multiply the top and the bottom by that, it's going to look like this. X cubed y to the fourth, x cubed y to the fourth. You're going to multiply all of them by the same thing. This is legal because you're doing the same thing to the top of the major fraction, that's this fraction bar here, as you're doing to the bottom. Okay. If you like to keep things lined up, if it helps you with neatness, you can also write each of them as over 1, just to remind yourself that that's what's happening. Now we can go ahead and cancel out a whole bunch of the stuff. So here, for example, the x cubes cancel, and then the y into the y fourth will just leave you with y cubed. Over here, the x and the x cubed will leave you with an x squared, but the y to the fourths cancel again completely. And then here, the x cubes cancel, with the y into the y fourth is going to leave you with a y cubed. And then in the last one, the x into the x cubed will leave you with x squared, but the y and the y fourth also leaves you with y cubed. So let's bring that down and kind of tidy this up a little bit. We're going to have this is equal to, on the top all that's left is 6y cubed in that first term, plus 5x squared. And then in the bottom all that's left is 5y cubed minus 3x squared y cubed. It's very tidy now. It's not a complex fraction anymore. However, they will want you to check if it reduces. So you want to try to factor the top and the bottom, because if you can factor them, sometimes then there's something that can cancel. So the top does not have any common factors, it's not its sum of cubes or anything that we can factor, so the top really doesn't break down at all. But the bottom, we do see a common factor, so let's recopy the top. The bottom, you can see there's a common factor of y cubed, so let's factor that out. And then you're left with 5 minus 3x squared. And at that point, we see that nothing's going to cancel, so we're done. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.